Welcome to The Explainer. Listen, I want you to think of our time together today as a bit of a coaching session. We're diving into how artificial intelligence is stepping up to rescue, and I really mean rescue, not replace, the academic peer review system. So, whether you're a professional researcher, an editor, or just someone fascinated by how we validate human knowledge, my goal today is to help you calibrate your AI judgment skills. We're going to look at how we transition from a system that is under immense strain right now to one where AI acts as our most powerful, reliable co-pilot.
Because here is the blunt truth, folks. Our current system of validating knowledge, it's drowning. We are literally publishing more research right now than at any other point in human history, but our peer review capacity is entirely stuck in the 20th century. It's notoriously slow, it's highly subjective, and because of those systemic strains, it really struggles with consistency. And the stakes here are incredibly high, right? Because how we evaluate research dictates what actually gets discovered, what gets funded, and ultimately what becomes accepted fact.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to quickly cover the core peer review problem, how AI functions as an assistant, look at 3 emerging review models, navigate the core tensions of this shift, outline some critical mistakes to avoid, and finally, look toward the hybrid future. Let's jump right in.
Starting with Part 1, the peer review problem. Why is the system struggling? Well, before we can implement any kind of solution, we really need to diagnose exactly where the machinery is breaking down.
Think about the systemic flaws we're dealing with on a daily basis. Important, groundbreaking papers are often delayed for months, or they get rejected for totally the wrong reasons. Meanwhile, mediocre papers slip right through simply because their authors know how to navigate these opaque processes really well. We are leaning way too heavily on overworked volunteer reviewers who are just stretched incredibly thin. And if the system is too slow, we delay critical scientific findings that could literally save lives or advance major technology. But if it's too permissive, bad science gets a stamp of approval, and then we waste everyone's time and money trying to replicate deeply flawed results.
Which brings us to Section 2, AI as an assistant. Augmenting, not replacing humans. This is where we really need to calibrate our expectation.
I want you to think of this exactly like modern manufacturing. We are moving from manual, tedious piece-by-piece inspection to automated testing, but we are always keeping human oversight for the final say. In manufacturing, automation didn't replace the need for human quality judgment. It just made the process vastly more efficient and consistent. And that exact same principle applies to scholarly communication. AI isn't here to automate away the subjective nuance required to determine if a paper actually makes a meaningful contribution. It's just here to act as a highly capable assistant, doing the heavy administrative lifting so human experts actually have the time and energy to think.
So chronologically, here's exactly where AI intervenes to save humans from reading papers that simply aren't ready for prime time. Step 1, an initial desk review screens for basic fit and flags any glaring unsupported claims. Step 2, manuscript analysis checks for methodological rigor. These are things humans often miss when they're tired, like missing data availability statements or simple formatting errors. Step 3 is reviewer matching, which pairs papers with the ideal human experts based on deep, complex citation patterns. And finally, Step 4, bias detection. This actually analyzes reviewer comments to identify patterns of inconsistency, essentially making the invisible visible.
Let's move to Section 3, 3 emerging review models. Case studies in action. Because theory is great, but practical application is where the actual transformation happens.
These 3 real-world case studies prove there is absolutely no single ideal model for every field. You have to match the AI application to your specific operational goals. For instance, a traditional journal editor might use AI strictly in the background just to speed up desk rejections. But a field society transitioning to open peer review, they might use AI to organize and cluster hundreds of public comments so the authors don't get completely overwhelmed. And a continuous community might use AI to continuously synthesize massive amounts of ongoing feedback over a matter of months.
Look at the stark contrast here. We're seeing a radical shift from a closed, publish or not decision right at the outset to a dynamic, transparent evolution of research ideas over time. In that continuous community model, papers are published immediately as preprints. The community comments openly, and AI tools synthesize the themes of those comments, highlighting major concerns and areas of consensus. It's honestly thrilling because it completely changes the velocity of scientific collaboration. You aren't sitting around waiting a year just to find out if your methodology holds up.
Okay, Section 4, navigating the core tensions, the balancing act of evolution. You simply cannot modernize a deeply human system without running into some fundamental friction points.
Let's look at the first big tension. How much standardization do we actually want before we start losing the flexibility of diverse research methods? Now, AI is fantastic at applying a uniform rubric, but research varies wildly by discipline. Contextual judgment from a human expert is entirely necessary to understand when a methodology is unorthodox for a really good, innovative reason versus when it's just sloppy execution.
We also have to calibrate for speed versus depth. Speed is incredibly valuable, especially in fast-moving fields like medical research or tech. But a lightning-fast review that completely misses glaring fundamental flaws, that is far worse than a slow, careful review. You just cannot artificially accelerate deep intellectual thought. And finally, the tension between transparency and privacy. Open processes certainly enable better post-publication discussion and accountability. But imagine if a junior researcher is critiquing a powerful senior leader in their field. Stripping away their anonymity could completely stifle honest, necessary dissent. Finding the right structural balance here is absolutely critical for maintaining trust in the system.
Moving into Section 5, Mistakes to Avoid. Safeguarding integrity and trust. Now, let me put my senior consultant hat on for a second. As a professional navigating this, safeguarding trust is your #1 priority, and I want to warn you about the biggest traps.
These 5 common mistakes will absolutely derail your transition. Replacing human judgment with AI is incredibly dangerous because AI hallucinates, period. We're talking large language models generating completely fake citations or fabricating statistical significance where none actually exists. It looks highly convincing, but it's totally made up. If you blindly trust the speed, you are sacrificing rigor. So, here is a quick checklist for evaluating task risk. Ask yourself, is this a routine compliance check, or is it a subjective judgment call? If it's a subjective judgment call, the AI is completely out of its depth. Do not oversell what it can do.
And that leads right into perhaps the biggest misconception I see out in the field. Algorithms are not inherently objective. They are purely mathematical reflections of their training data. If you train an AI on historical peer reviews that systematically penalize certain types of innovation or certain demographics, that AI is simply going to automate and amplify those exact same historical flaws. True bias reduction requires deliberate, careful design and constant validation, not just blind trust in a machine. Which brings us to our final section, the hybrid future, the synthesized editor. Let's look ahead to where we are actually going with all of this.
The most advanced institutions out there, they aren't looking for full automation. Here is the hybrid workflow we actually want to build. AI handles the tedious compliance checks and the initial screening. Human reviewers then get a synthesized summary, allowing them to spend their limited, highly valuable time actually engaging with the complex ideas and writing thoughtful critiques. Because at the end of the day, humans make all the final judgment calls on meaning and impact.
Ultimately, the very best outcome is AI-assisted peer review that gives humans more time for actual thinking. That is our true north. Anything that detracts from the soundness and honesty of the research is a step backward, no matter how much time it might save on the front end. AI is merely the lever we use to lift the massive administrative burden off the shoulders of the scientific community so they can get back to doing what they do best, innovating.
I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to help you calibrate your own approach going forward. What aspect of validation frustrates you most in your field right now? And how could AI actually improve it without replacing human wisdom? Whether you're an author waiting months for a simple decision or a reviewer completely drowning in reading requests, consider how you can champion a thoughtful, hybrid approach in your own circles. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the systems that validate our world.